Hey everyone, it's Bree. I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the Shimmerz Paints YouTube education team, and I'm super excited to share this one with y'all today. I have chosen a cut file from the Hip Kit Club. It is a cut file that is offered to the members of the club. It comes free with your membership. So yeah, it was designed by Lisa Fonseca, and it's super cute. It's this gorgeous frame with flowers and acorns, and I'm pairing it with my Hip Kit Club kit for the month of November, along with a bunch of Shimmerz product. So I'm just prepping my page right now with some gesso, and I am using the Basil Marshmallow cardstock because it is thick. I knew I was going to add quite a lot of paint and some water, so I did want it to be nice and tough, and so that's why I chose that specific cardstock. So I am going to start by backing this beautiful cut file frame with a few of the papers. I believe the one I'm working with now is one from Jen Hadfield, and I don't think I have the other ones on me. I know that there are quite a bit of Heidi Swap papers from her newest, I believe it's Emerson Lane collection, and they're gorgeous. So this kit is very fall related, and the picture that I had in the beginning is a photo of a project that my youngest son had made back when he was, I believe, in second grade. So this had to have been 3 years ago. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, it did say, "I am thankful for God making me a life and a brother." And I thought it was the sweetest thing. His teacher had sent it to me. And so, of course, I took it, like I screenshotted it and saved it. And it happened to come in handy. I've had this photo printed for probably the same amount of time. Like I printed it when I actually took the photo of it, and I just haven't had a chance to scrapbook it. So I was really excited to use it today as well, along with this fall inspired kit. So yeah, so I'm basically just backing the cut file. I've done it before. I'm not a pro at it. I still need a lot of practice. I did try to trace it out, but I do find it's more easy for me to glue it to whatever pattern paper I've chosen and then kind of cut around it. It is a little more time consuming, but in the end, to me, it's worth it. I did think about possibly painting the entire cut file or maybe cutting the cut file on pattern paper, but I did like the white, just cutting it on plain white cardstock and backing it and then adding some mixed media underneath it. So I do save you from watching me do the entire cut file, so it should cut out here shortly, and then we can move on with the rest of my layout. So yeah, I just was doing the leaves, and there it is right there. I went ahead and also backed the acorns, and I do change those up a little bit, but I'll get to that here in probably towards the end of the video. So the actual frame is in a square shape, as you can see, and so I wanted to start off with kind of drawing out or putting the base of my colors down. And I'm sorry, the color that I chose first is a Creameez, and it's in Lapis Dance, and it's a very, very pretty blue, and it does have shimmer in it. It does, I believe the Creameez does have more of a satin finish, and so it's very shimmery and very pretty. And hopefully you'll be able to see how it looks in the final photos. So I didn't add too much water. You do have to add water to the actual paint pot to activate it, but I didn't, as usual. Like I usually put the color on my little glass mat and then add more water to it, but I didn't because I did want the darker, I wanted to keep that dark color to it, so I didn't dilute it this time. So I did want a green because the kit does have some green in it. So I did choose a Spritz in Bamboo Leaf, and it's very pretty. It does look more limey, if that's a word, in like on my white mat, but I do add just a little bit of it because I did want it to stick out from underneath the mat, but I didn't want it to be a primary color. I thought the green in the leaves as well as in the little um, the pattern paper where the flowers are, it did have hints of green, which were enough for me. So I just wanted a little bit of green, and you don't really see too much of it, but you know, you do get hints of it. It's kind of like when you look at the page, you kind of see different colors peeking out from underneath. And I'll get to adding more of those here in just a minute. So the next color that I'm going to add is a Spritz in Cotton Candy, and it's it's like a really pretty pink. Yeah, I just liked adding a little bit of pink. I love pink. So I just wanted to add a little bit more onto my layout. Okay, and then I keep bringing my frame back over to see how it's looking. Now, it does look very bold and very like in your face right here, but as you can see, like when I did put the frame over it, it does get covered up quite a bit. And that's like kind of the nature of mixed media is in order to create a background, you build on top of it. So yes, a lot does get covered up. That's why I did gesso the entire page, because I really wasn't sure how much I was going to add and how much I was going to pull towards the edges. So I thought better safe than sorry, just cover basically the whole thing up and just go from there. And I know I did want to add a lot of gold, and this is a beautiful gold. It's an Inklingz in Minor 49er, and it's very pretty. It's very comparable to the Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine that is not being made anymore, but Minor 49er is just as great, and it's beautiful and shimmery and gold. So I did add that around. I did some splatters. I am, of course, if you know me, I'm impatient, so I do kind of dry it up a little bit to speed up the drying process. And then I've got my frame there, and I didn't actually add egg noggin, so that's me going in a little bit, not adding too much, but adding just a little bit on the sides. And there's my photo if you missed it in the beginning. It's really sweet. Most of the kids, not most, oh my gosh, all of the kids in the class had wrote what they're thankful for, and it just made me so happy, and it just made me feel so good when I saw what my youngest had written. It was just so sweet. All right, so I am going to back my photo with some wax paper, and like I've said before, I don't know how this is going to be archival wise. I don't know how it's going to last, so I'm hoping that I don't have any problems with it, and because it's just wax paper sheets that I've gotten at Sam's that I use for my kids when they have snacks, or instead of using paper towels, they just take a wax paper sheet and have their like crackers or chips, or I wrap sandwiches in it. And I thought, it's kind of thin like tracing paper, so why not try to use it to add that extra layer underneath my photo in place of vellum. But I still definitely love vellum, so I'm just trying this alternative, and we'll see how this works out. I've got these Jen Hadfield frames, and I know I wanted to use the one that says love, and I'm basically just layering up diagonal from top left down to bottom right. And I've got my my mixed media white cardstock over to the right. It's drying, and that's me pulling it back in because it's pretty much dry. And I've got a wreath that's a Hip Kit Club exclusive, and I'm just layering up. I've got that there's that Polaroid little frame with a heart cut out of it, and then I've got these exclusive Hip Kit Club wood veneers, and I'm going to use one of the words there for my title. So I'm just kind of going through and seeing how I'm going to lay everything out. I'm just playing around. I decided to leave this part in my video so you can kind of see my process and basically what I'm doing the whole time. The only thing I really cut out of this video was me backing the cut file. I did want to raise it up on some foam to give it some dimension, so I'm just going through and adding some strips of foam tape. And I love that I'm able to rip the foam tape. Like, it comes off very clean and easy to rip. Sometimes you get that foam tape where you rip it and then it stretches, but this is honestly my favorite foam tape. All right, and this layout was so much fun to make. I had a lot of fun just painting, and I was watching a Christmas movie when I was making my frame, and just being creative and having, you know, a little bit of time to myself in my craft room. And yeah, it was definitely therapeutic and much needed after a long week. Um, so yeah, there I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing down everything. I've got my photo up in the left and I kind of have it at an angle and I tucked it underneath one of the flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back and build everything that I had kind of placed down before. And then so I'm opening up some Heidi Swap cardstock stickers, and then I'm going to add one of these pink labels because I did add that cotton candy spritz and I did want to pull in a little more of that pink onto my layout. Just gonna glue everything down, and in my bottle I've got Scotch tacky glue, in case you were wondering. I love that stuff. It's my favorite. I hope you guys had a great week. I cannot believe it is December already. I am not even ready for Christmas. I've gotten some shopping done, but not as much. And I like to shop more towards, I guess, closer to Christmas, because then I always find other things like throughout the days leading up until Christmas, and I always end up changing my mind. So I'm more of a last minute shopper only because because I kind of have seen everything, I guess you can say, if that makes any sense. Okay, so my title for this layout is going to be Special Memory, because it really is. It's something that I love to look back on. It was very sweet. Because I think, well, my kids argue just probably just like everybody else's. So when there are moments like this, I treasure them and hold them close to my heart because they don't happen as often as I would like. But I know they love each other even though they fight. I mean, my siblings and I fought a lot, but I think that's just a part of growing up. So when you get moments like this, how can you not want to scrapbook it and, remember, like, yeah, just remember it. All right, so I've added some of the Hip Kit Club Kids. I always say that. The Hip Kit exclusive puppy stickers. And I've got those two little leaves. And then I'm adding some of the ephemera. I'm just adding a little more of the pink here and there to help balance it out. There were a lot of, the typical fallish colors with the navy and then the acorns. Now, you can see that they stand out a lot right here. And when I mentioned in the beginning how I changed those, I was going to add some gesso or some white paint maybe to tone them down, but then I got nervous. Like I didn't want to ruin it completely. So I end up going in off camera and doing some white acrylic paint splatters to help tone it down a little bit, and I love the way it turned out. And I ended up adding white paint splatters all over my page because there's something about those white splatters. They really can change a layout and can really pull everything together. And I do also go back in with the Minor 49er to get more of the gold in because it's just so pretty. But you'll end up seeing that here in just a second. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I love this gold. It's so shimmery and pretty, and oh, so pretty. And I even got a little bit there, and I just was going to get my napkin out and maybe soak some of it up, but I just left it. And I really wanted to get the gold all over the white cut file to help give a little more interest and not make it too white. But yeah, I love how this turned out. It was so much fun. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. But don't forget, if you add my name in the notes or comment section of your order, they'll send you a free gift. There's my final layout with the white paint splatters. I hope you guys liked this. Thank you so much for commenting, watching, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.